It's rough. It's rough. Don't mind me. I'm sitting in my chair and I'm getting comfy. You know, I'd really love if I looked better on the other. Hi, Taylor. I really wish I looked better on the other streaming streaming. Do not talk tonight. That's not good for reading. Ooh, my stand. My stand is having issues. I'm trying to like make it so I can see everything at once, and yeah, not really. But we're getting there. How is everybody's week going so far? Everybody doing good? I mean, it's yeah. I'm in Concrunch. Oh, hang on. My phone unplugged. I forgot to charge my phone before my live. So, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I messed that up. Not much I can do about it, but yeah. Things are good when it's Star Wars time. Yeah, that's true. So we are going to be reading Mall Lockdown. We are on chapter 25, which is fun. Yeah. Like I said, I'm in total con crunch mode. I have to have my armor and my flak vest done by this weekend, by Saturday morning. So I am have been very laser focused in trying to get that done. Yeah, it's so much. There's so much I gotta do to get it done. Hi, Luna. Cool. Crafting armor is a lot of hard work. Like, there's so much that goes into it. It's not even funny. Yeah. Right now, I am trying. Alright. I am trying to get the magnets for my shoulder pieces. How close am I to being done? Well, my flak vest is mostly done. I can show you guys my flak vest. I went and looked at the requirements today, so my flak vest is almost done. I just have to add binding around the edges. So yeah, the flak vest is pretty much done. Oh, and I need to quilt it. I started quilting it, and then I had to get online, so yeah, I have to quilt it, and which I don't technically have to quilt it, but I wanted to add some like decorative stitching to it, just to make it more fun. Yeah, so I need to add some quilting to it, and then I need to add the binding around the armholes and the neckline and the zipper. Don't worry about this. I accidentally spray basted the wrong side, so once I wash it, this should all come off. Hopefully. My helmet is like 99% done. I went to go and paint it today, and I could see some lines that I didn't realize I could still see, so my helmet needs some work. My chest plate is ready to be painted. My knees are ready to be painted. I found out I don't need shin guards anymore, which is kind of nice. If I can figure out what happened to my thigh plates, I had thigh plates. I don't know where they went. Off of my old kit. If I can find them, I'll paint them too, but I don't know where they are. So yeah. I have my flight suit. I commissioned my belt, which should be here tomorrow. It's basically a night owl belt. With like 6 pouches on it. I don't have as many pouches as Bo-Katan does. I got less pouches. Because I don't need that many pouches. I am going to figure out. I probably need to get from a con. I don't know if you guys have seen them. They're like mana bottles, but they go around your belt. I would like to do that. I want to get one of those mana bottle holders, but I'm going to use one of the Galaxy's Edge Coca-Colas and stick that in the pouch. Now, I cannot use that for apps. That's not allowed for application, but it is totally allowed for cons. So for cons, I'll be carrying around Galaxy's Edge Diet Coke, which I will probably fill every morning with Diet Coke because I love Diet Coke. But I thought that would be a fun addition to my kit. Oh, I have to print Greeblies. That's something else I gotta print tonight. So before I go to bed, I'm gonna print Greeblies. My old, well, I don't know if I've printed the Greeblies yet. I have a backplate that I printed a while back. I have to finish the flak vest and then try on the backplate to see if the backplate is the right size. So the backplate is not allowed to extend past the bottom of my flak vest. So I have to see. I have to check. Hopefully it's not. I mean, at least backplates are easy enough to prep because they're mostly flat. They're not like gauntlets, which are a pain in the butt to get ready. So yeah, that's what's going on with the armor. Fingers crossed, it's done on time. I don't have much of a choice. I gotta have it done. I have to have it ready for apps. Will it be ready for apps before GalaxyCon next weekend? Maybe. But it will. I will at least have something wearable for GalaxyCon next week. So yeah, I'm very excited. Oh, I know where my battery pack is. I gotta figure out how to get fans in my new helmet. Uh-oh. I forgot about that. Uh-oh. I have until next weekend to at least put fans inside my helmet. Because I cannot I can't wear the helmet without fans. It's way too uncomfortable. But it's a love-hate relationship because the fans dry out my contacts. But without the fans, I can't see. So yeah, ooh, that is something else I need to get. A welding visor sheet. Welding visor sheet. Yep. Yep. There we go. Alright. I got my magnets ordered and I got my sheet ordered. And okay, you want to know what's really funny? So, people apparently, people who buy the visor sheet off of Amazon also buy airsoft helmet pads, sandable filler primer, graphite powder, Bondo glazing and spot putty, and metallic paint. Which says to me that whoever else is buying these same products is also working on Mandalorian armor, because graphite powder is how you get. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on like the powder. And I gotta get new pads for my helmet. Alright. So many things added to my cart tonight from Amazon so I can finish this stuff up. Well, that's a pretty costume. Ooh. Too expensive. That's a shame. Oh well. So yeah. Anyway, are we ready to read? Yay for retail. I'm trying not to. But I am quite motivated to get it done. That guy who was an absolute asshole to me last year, at GalaxyCon Richmond, or I should say not at GalaxyCon Richmond, I should say after GalaxyCon Richmond, and who did a lot of just he was an asshole. Oh, thank you for the follow, Copperhead. He is supposed to be the one that looks over my kit before approval. I let some of the other officers know that I have zero interest in him looking over my kit. Because he's made several negative comments about my kit that have nothing to do with actual application. He didn't like the color, he doesn't like the paint, he doesn't like the style, he doesn't like me. So I asked the officers if I can have somebody else look over my kit. Because I don't trust him. I just plain old don't trust him to make legitimate, constructive assistance to my application. So, yeah. Like I said, like I told you guys before, he thinks being an asshole is a personality trait, and if you have a problem with him just being an absolute jerk to you, that's your problem. You're the jerk if you call out his jerky behavior. Which is kind of what happened last year. I called out his terrible behavior, and he got pissed. Which is so, like, he got pissed, and then, like, a month later, when I had commissioned somebody else to make my Night Owl belt. Ooh, don't even get me started. No, he's not. I mean, he acts that way, but he's not. Like, he always tells you about all these chicks that he's banging. Hang on. Something stuck in my teeth. But, like, okay, so he said all this, like, crap about me, and he was insulting my armor, and just, like, all these things. And then, like, a month later, when I was talking to the person who I had commissioned the leather working from, he's like, I'm a little insulted that you didn't ask me. Oh, really? So you think that after you were an asshole to my face, an asshole behind my back, insulted my kid, my kit, and myself, that I would pay you money? I am doing okay, Nolan. How are you? Yeah. He's delusional too. Like that's the thing is like he thought that I would pay him to do a commission piece for me when he's just a jerk to me all the time. I'm so like what? You're waiting to go home at the MARTA station in Atlanta. Oh, that sounds fun. What were you doing in Atlanta? I get to visit Atlanta in like in May. I'm going to Atlanta in May. I'm kind of excited. It'll be my second trip to Atlanta. Send them to me, I'll take care of it. Oh no, I can handle him. I can handle him just fine. I just call out his behavior, or I just ignore him. He likes to mansplain to me too, which is totally funny. There was somebody in our group chat who was asking like how they can attach their armor to their flak vest. And then I put in the comments, I was like, I'm partial to pins because I have used my armor set that did fit that now doesn't fit because I've lost a third of my body weight. That set that's pinned. I'm gonna explain these pins gladly if I try and do it out loud. So I use these kinds of. You guys can see them. I use these kinds of pins with locking backs so they don't pop off. In fact, usually the resin glue that I use gives out before the pin back does. But I had said that I'm partial to pins at for my armor attachment, and then and I said unusually I use the locking backs so they don't pop off, and then 2 lines later, which he read because it's Facebook Messenger, he read them. He's like, "Oh, you know what? My name. You should use pins with locking backs." Literally just said that. But thanks. I already know. So yeah, he's just a barrel of fun. I love all the interactions I have with this guy. So yeah. The other thing is he insults 3D printing. Like, he is very anti 3D printing when it comes to armor. He is insistent that the only true Mandalorians use metal armor. Which, for me, a long list of reasons, will not do. 1, I don't have access to metal or metalworking tools. Okay? He does, but I don't. It's heavy. I mean, 3D printed armor is already heavy enough. Adding metal would be super even worse. And the other thing is that in the summertime, if you wear your armor outside, which our summer lasts until October, and we have events that go into October that are outdoors, that'll you'll bake. It's awful. It's terrible. You can fry an egg on your armor at that point. So, Now, I will admit that after bondoing and sanding and resining and bondoing and sanding and resining and bondo and sanding and resining, metal is a lot easier to paint. There's no print lines on metal armor. The other problem is with metal is very easy for men's armor. Metal is not so great when you got curbs. Same reason you can't use Sintra. Unless you're, very flat. Don't get me started. I considered getting a chest binder so that I could wear, I considered getting a chest binder so that I could wear male armor, which was a lot easier to fit than women's armor. Yeah, heated up, hang on with it. Yeah, that's what he says. You aren't, do I know you in real life? You aren't him, are you? No, he is on it. He is on TikTok. He's come into my lives a few times. His name begins with an I. You're not him. Anyway, chapter 25. Skull Game. There was no meal being served at the moment, but Maul found Coil in the mess hall anyway, on his hands and knees. The Shadra fan was humming to himself jauntily as he burrowed through the refuse bins in the corner, digging for scraps and tossing them onto a spare tray that he'd scavenged from the kitchen. Maul waited until Coil stopped, straightened up, and turned around, his whiskers dripping with something thick and pasty. Jagannath, the Shadra fan said. beaming as convivial as ever. Ready to fight again, are you? He rubbed his hands together. We're all expecting to see you victorious, and very soon. Maul didn't answer. His response, when it came, was to reach out and dump a small handful of bones onto Coil's tray. The Shotr fan frowned at them, momentarily flummoxed, then looked back up at Maul, blinking quickly. What are these? For you, Maul said, to use in your work. Is that so? Coil picked up one of the bones and examined it thoughtfully. Yes, I might have a use for it. Yes, indeed, I might. I thank you, Jagannath. You have my gratitude. Yes, you do, although it makes me wonder. I have been looking into your background, Maul said. Why were you sent here to Cog Hive 7 in the first place? Coil's eyebrows twitched. Oh, yes? You weren't always a sculptor. Before you came here, you made other things. He waited. Counterfeit currency, to be exact. Credits on demand. The rodent's face became the very picture of serene innocence. Did I? If I were to ask you to ply your trade again for me, Maul said, I could supply you with any number of bones for your sculptures in exchange. How much are we talking about exactly? 300,000 credits. I look like... So, it's funny that you say that. I actually bought these pajamas to use in a gen sketch. But they're super comfy. Yeah, I literally bought these as like Jen's Imperial sleepwear. But they're like way too big on me now, but like they're so soft. To me, they remind me of the pajamas that I think it's Rosemary Clooney wears in White Christmas. Because they have shorts. Oh no, Acadian, you're having trouble picking a good profile picture? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to make a guess as to what you should pick. Jen gets caught in Imperial Guard quarters. Jen would never get caught in anybody's quarters. First of all, she does not go to other people's quarters. People come to her. Just saying. Jen would not walk of shame. Jen would make others walk of shame. This is Jen we're talking about here. She is a strong and independent woman. Much like her creator. But she doesn't go to other people's quarters. They come to her. Besides, I have the ficus. When what were you wanting it for? I need to buy something. Well, Coil rubbed his hands together and bobbled his head from side to side thoughtfully. Well. Sorry. I would need materials, of course, a means of fabrication. A craftsman's best friends are his tools. And the end product? Make a list, Maul said. Give it to Zero. He'll get you what you need. And for me? Maul stopped and turned back. What do you want? My newest work, Coil said. I believe you've seen it. It could benefit from a certain type of skull. A larger one. Saurian, perhaps? His tongue flicked out and moistened his lips. I hear there's a death spine Varactyl locked up in one of the lower cell blocks. A Varactyl? Intriguing creatures. Have you seen them, brother? 15 meters long, the Shadra fan grinned. You see, it's a fascinating thing. The way their sinuses and their armor-plated skulls are designed to funnel and amplify sound, to create a certain specific type of noise when the air passes through. Maul nodded. It is done. You're innocent to know what we're all talking about? Well, we were talking about my pajamas. And then we're reading. So I read this book on the clock app as well as on here for the play button app and the purple app. Usually I read 2 to 4 chapters, but this is our book right now. We're going through our Legends, the Star Wars Legends timeline, sort of. We've taken a few detours off the Legends timeline a few times because I have ADHD and I pick the books that I want to read. But we've gone through Plagueis, we've gone through Cloak of Deception, the most boring Star Wars book ever written. Maul Shadowhunter. Now we're on Maul Lockdown. But some of the detours we've taken are The Living Force by John Jackson Miller. I don't know if you can see my copy up there, but I have that. It's actually signed by the author. I love that book. That was really good. It was The Jedi Council Goes on Vacation. We read Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, which is at the top of my shelf, which you can't see. Which is, it was written like a historical research, kind of like a World War I book, about how the Galactic Empire rose to power, what happened during the Galactic Civil War, and their ultimate and untimely demise. That one was really cool. We also read Rise of the Red Blade, which was a newer book, I think 2 years ago, that was a Padawan to Inquisitor path. So that one, yeah, squirrel. So yeah, the next book we read after this one will be Queen's Peril, which is part of the Padme trilogy. So again, it's in the timeline. It's still within the timeline. Oh, one other book I thought of. We also read Death Troopers once a year because zombies are fun. But we are going to read Queen's Peril, which it does take place right after this book. It takes the events take place like right before the Phantom Menace, but also go into the Phantom Menace, kind of like Darth Plagueis. The Plagueis book starts 100 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. I don't know. I'd have to look. But it goes back really, really far, and then the book ends basically at the end of the Phantom Menace movie. So Darth Plagueis is killed the night that Palpatine becomes Supreme Chancellor, which is basically the end of the Phantom Menace. So yeah, some of the books they overlap in timelines. They've talked about one thing in here that I think it was overlapping with something that happened in Cloak of Deception on Iradu. They have mentioned Plagueis in this book. So yeah, there's a lot. It's all Star Wars books that I read on live. I read 2 to 4 chapters. The clock act determines whether or not I read 4 chapters or 2. I didn't even set up a live goal tonight, did I? Oh, I'm behind. I'm a terrible, terrible creator. There we go. There we go. And there we go. There. Okay. Have the live goal set up. But yeah, so that's what I do. I read Star Wars books on the internet. That's what I'm about. And I also make content about Star Wars, cosplay, ADHD, being a mom, working in corporate America. I was making very fun videos last year about the news, but the news has become something that I can't be satirical about without feeling like I'm being insensitive to the horrible things that are happening. So, completely separate issue. Do I want to hear a bad Star Wars joke? Sure. Jen is not human resources. Jen is the IT department. You are thinking of Dolores. Dolores is in the HR. I do the Death Star IT department. Yeah. But yeah, I am the IT department. Because, and this is something fun when I used to make more IT videos. I work in cybersecurity now, and I work more in governance, so I don't get to deal with idiot users anymore. But every video that I've ever made, as far as Death Star IT goes, are real IT tickets that I have worked, or real situations I have worked. For example, I had a boss that wanted me to send him an email every single time I closed a ticket. Now, I would close between 30 and 70 tickets a week. Most of my peers were closing 15, just as a side note. But I was closing between 30 and 70 tickets a week. And I was like, you don't even read the emails that I send you that are important. Like, you're going to read the... No. Did you ever get a chance to go on the second Death Star? Yes! I also made a video about that. Actually, that one was a whole series of her going back to the second Death Star. So, what do you call it when Din, when he and Grogu travel together? I don't know. What do you call it, Whisper? But yeah, she did go on the second Death Star. And she survived both. She survived the first Death Star by being on Scarif, because they called her into Scarif because the Empire basically blew up their server room. And Data replies, "Oh, Commando." That's funny, Whisper. So yeah, she survived because she was on Scarif and trying to fix the data center. And then the second Death Star, they forgot to bring the power cables, the power couplings for the Emperor's throne when they built the second Death Star. And so Jen went down to the moon of Endor to get power couplings. And then got stuck on the Endor moon because the rebels were attacking, and so she was not on the second Death Star when it exploded. But she was very upset that twice she lost her favorite ficus. Yeah. She's got lore. Like, I've created a character that's got lore now. Like, it's very funny that I have lore. About a fake character I play on the internet. Since I don't really have stories left to tell for Jen, like, I've thought about going to, like, Reddit sub-channels, like Tales of IT and Reddit, but I don't know how to, like, give proper credit for Reddit stories that I turn into Death Star IT videos. So, Jen still doesn't carry a blaster. Nope. Jen does not carry a blaster. Mando Mom doesn't like carrying a blaster either, but the Mandalorians say I have to. I have a blaster that I have for my Mandalorian costume because I'm required to. I don't really like to carry it. I'm not comfortable with carrying it. When I attended BlurredCon a few years ago, originally I didn't care if I had a blaster. But when I attended BlurredCon, what was that, 2022, 2023? And before you go, like, what were you doing at BlurredCon? I was invited! Okay? I did not just go to BlurredCon because I thought it would be fun. I was invited. Just putting that out there. I was invited to the barbecue. But the reason I was helping out with a panel, and the person who was teaching it talked about how, as a Blurred cosplayer, that you have to be really careful about carrying a weapon because America is what it is. And so that made me feel really uncomfortable about carrying a blaster because I am friends with lots of different people in all walks of life, and I don't mean to sound like weird like that. I don't want to be like, oh, I have a black friend. It's not meant to sound like that. It's not meant to sound like that. But I am always with, like, a bunch of people, and I want to make sure that they stay safe. So I don't carry a blaster so that people don't think that we are a group of people carrying a weapon and they get hurt because of me. So that's the reason I don't carry a blaster. I have one because I'm required to, but I don't like carrying it because I want the friends and family that I have around me to be safe, because I recognize that I have privilege that a lot of my friends don't. That's just. Do I have a cannon blaster? I have a blaster. Like I said, I can't show it. Because I'll get in trouble. The TikTok gods will get mad at me. I have one of the pirate blasters from Skeleton Crew. It looks really cool. I wish I could show it to you, but I can't because TikTok will get mad at me. But yeah, I have a pirate blaster from Skeleton Crew because it was like the least realistic looking blaster that I could find. Yeah, you're required to have one for your application photos, so I have a blaster for my app photos, but I don't carry it. Just because I want everyone around me to be safe. So. And me too, because I guess I don't even have the privilege anymore. Based on what happened, you know. Just saying, I thought I had privileges that apparently people who look like me don't. So. Yeah. Yeah. That's the state of where we're living. It is not safe necessarily to be a cosplayer, even with a fake weapon. So like I said, I don't like carrying one. It makes me uncomfortable. I would rather carry my Diet Coke in a pouch on my belt than I would carry a blaster. And I need to I'm probably gonna get a holster to put on my belt. Like, I'm gonna have my friend make me a holster. It's just that there will never be anything in the holster. Cause yeah. Yeah. Alright. Anyway, so that was the end of chapter 25. It is a short chapter. Chapter 26. Yes! Actually, I originally had asked if I could have a pulse pistol from Farscape on my kit, and I was told pointedly no, and I was like, but nobody's gonna know! So few people are going to recognize the pulse pistol from Farscape. Okay? No one is gonna care. Uma. I wanted to get Uma. Yeah. You would. And Nerdy Priest would too, because she's a huge Farscape fan. And who did I see recently? There's a mutual of mine who just finished, like, a bomb, Chiana costume. Which, if you guys can't see it with the shelf in the way, but I have a Chiana. Well, you guys there's my Chiana poster right there. See, signed by Gigi Edgley. She's back here, but underneath Darth Vader. I like the banana idea though. Like, that's an out of universe reference, so technically I can't. But yeah, a banana is a good idea. Actually, a banana is a really good idea. I should put a banana in my holster. Whovians will get it. I don't know if the other Star Wars nerds will get it, but the Whovians will get it. But yeah, I wanted the pulse pistol from Farscape, and I was told no. Because it's not in universe. And I said, but nobody's gonna know it's not unless you're a huge Farscape fan, and this is a very small group. It's like Stargate fans. Like, if you find another Stargate fan, you're like, oh my gosh, there's more of us! You need to watch what? Farscape or Stargate? Yeah, I was thinking about that recently, that I wanted to watch Farscape again. Always a good solid show to watch. Alright. Chapter 26. Have you ever seen Sanctuary? No. I've not seen Sanctuary. What? What?
My throat feels weird.
Okay. Can you breathe?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a sick kid, so I am gonna go because she just got sick. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. No,